Om. कूजन्तं राम रामेति मधुरं मधुराक्षरम् आरुह्य कविता शाखां वन्दे वाल्मीकिकोकिलं वाल्मीकिर्मुनिसिंहस्य कवितावनचारिणः शृण्वन् रामकथानादं को न याति पराङ्गतिं यः पिबन् सततं रामचरितामृतसागरम् अतृप्तस्तं मुनिं वन्दे प्राचेशसमकल्मषम्
गोष्पति
गोष्पदीकृतवाराशिं
मशकीकृतराक्षसं
मशकीकृतराक्षसं
रामायणमहामाला रत्नं वन्दे नीलात्मजम् अञ्जनानन्दनं वीरं जानकी शोकनाशनं कपीशं मक्षहन्तारं वन्दे लङ्काभयङ्करं मनोजवं मारुततुल्यवेगं जितेन्द्रियं बुद्धिमतां वरिष्ठं वादात्मजं वानरयूतमुख्यं श्रीरामदूतं शिरसा नमामि यत्र यत्र रघुनाथकीर्तनं तत्र तत्र कृतमस्तकाञ्जलिं बाष्पवारी परिपूर्णलोचनं मारुतिं नमत राक्षसान्तकं वाल्मीकिगिरिसम्भूता रामसागरगामिनी पुनादिभुवनं पुण्या रामायणमहानदी वेदवेद्ये परे पुंसि जाते दशरथात्मजे वेदप्राचेतसादासीद् साक्षात् रामायणात्मना आपदामपहर्तारं दातारं सर्वसम्पदां लोकाभिरामं श्रीरामं भूयो भूयो नमाम्यहं रामाय रामभद्राय रामचन्द्राय वेदसे रघुनाथाय नाथाय सीतायाः पतये नमः मङ्गलं कोसलेन्द्राय महनीय गुणाब्धये चक्रवर्ती तनूजाय सार्वभौमाय मङ्गलम्. I was just testing whether you are all still there or not. Very good, you are there. Here in Kishkindha Kand, we are in canto number 27, where Vali Vada has already taken place. Tara has been appeased by Rama, telling her about the inevitability of the change, that is life and death of a soul, which is inevitable. Changes are unavoidable according to the actions of the past, so will be the results that we need to experience in every life. That is unavoidable again. And also he blessed Vali that whatever good virtues that you have done, you will accordingly will reap the results hereafter as well. However, since you have done some kind of sin here in this life, that you have to go through the untimely death. That is, that you have taken away the wife of Sugriva. You have very forcefully grabbed the country away from his hands and tortured him, threw him into the forest, etc. Those are the reasons why you had to go through this untimely death. However, your son Angada will be taken care. Sugriva will be the king. He will become your Raja. And as per the treaty, Sugriva was given the kingdom, and he was overwhelmed, and he asked Sri Rama to join him in the coronation for which Sri Rama very politely denied, saying, until I complete the 14 years of forest life, I have given my word to my father that I will not enter any country or participate in any such celebration. Thus, therefore, he had to stay back, and on his behalf, Lakshmana went and also completed the coronation there. Coming back, obviously, Sri Rama is by himself, and Lakshmana told him, he and Lakshmana, both of them are looking for a right place to stay for the next few months until the right time for proceeding with the uh, search of Ravana and Sita. Here, in the verse number 6, we saw Vinitam Brataram Brata Lakshmanam Lakshmivardhanam Yam Giriguharamya Vishala Yuktamaruta Asyam Vatsyama Somitre Varsharatram Arindama, oh, the destroyer of Ari, enemy. Vinitam Brataram Brata Lakshmanam, to that Lakshmana, who is a very humble one, Lakshmivardhanam, one who has great virtues, he spoke to him, Iyam, this Giriguha Ramya, this cavern or the cave that is there in front of us is very beautiful, Vishala, and it is also very large, Yukta Maruta, very well ventilated with a lot of air. Asyam Vatsyama, here we can stay, we will stay, Somitre, Varsharatram Arindama, and during the Varsharatram, Varsha is rain, because the rainy season is about to come in. At this point, we need a proper shelter, and therefore this should be the correct place. And then here is a description of the beauty of the forest attached to Kishkindha. That is the way, the style of Valmiki explaining the beauty of places, and that is how he does here. So we see here Girishringamidam Ramyam
Shrungamidam ramyam
Uttamam Parthivatmaja
uttamam parthivatmaja
Shvetabi Krishnatamrabihi
श्वेताभिकृष्णताम्राभिः
Ilabir Upakshobitam
शिलाभिरुपशोभितम्
Nanadatu Samakirnam
नानाधातुसमाकीर्णम्
Nadidardura Samyudam
नदीदद्दुरसंयुतम्
Vividai Vrikshashandaischa
विविधैर्वृक्षसण्डैश्च
Charu Chinnalataayutam
चारुचिह्नलतायुतम्
Charu Chitralatayutam
चारुचित्रलतायुतम्
Nana Vihagasam Gushtam
नानाविहगसङ्घुष्टम्
Mayuravaranadinam Naditam
मयूरवर्णादितम्
Malati Kundagulpaischa
मालती कुन्दगुल्मैश्च
Sindhuvari Shirishakaihi
सिन्धुवारैः शिरीषकैः
Kadambarjuna Sajjaischa
कदम्बार्जुनसर्जैश्च
Viderupashobitam
पुष्पितैरुपशोभितम्
Yam Chanalini Ramya
इयं च नलिनी रम्या
Pulla Pankajamandita
पुल्लपङ्कजमण्डिता
Nati Dure Guhayanau
नातिदूरे गुहायानौ
Bhavishyati Nripatmaja
भविष्यति नृपात्मज
Pragodaga Pravane Deshe
प्रागुदप्रवणे देशे
Guha Sadhu Bhavishyati
गुहा साधु भविष्यति
Paschatchevo Unnata Somya
पश्चाच्चैवोन्नता सौम्या
Nivateyam Bhavishyati
निवातेयं भविष्यति
Guhadware cha Saumitre
गुहाद्वारे च सौमित्रे
Shila Samatala Shila Samasnida Samatala Shiva
शिलात् समतला शिवा
Krishna Chaivayata Chaiva
कृष्णा चैवायता चैव
uh,
भिन्नाञ्जन
Binnanjana Chayopama.
भिन्नाञ्जनचयोपमा.
Here he says, Giri Sringam Idam Ramyam, this beautiful Giri Sringam. The Sringagiri, as you know, it's also called Sringagiri, not Sringagiri, Sringagiri, you know, Sringeri, it's actually Sringagiri. But that is not here referred here as any beautiful mountain is called Shringa. Shringa means most adorable Giri. Sringagirim Girishringamidam Ramyam Uttamam Parthivatmaja. It is the best, hey, the son of the best of the king. And here what we see is so many different kinds of flowers. Shvetabihi, Krishna Tamrabihi, Shilabihi, Upashobhitam. Not only the flowers and etc., but also the river. River is flowing here, which is various kinds of stones that are there in the banks of the river. White, Shweta, Krishna, that is black, dark black, Tamra, copper-like color, Shilabihi Upashobhitam. With so many, the mountain is filled with such variety of stones through which the water is also flowing down. Nana Dhatu Samakirnam, filled with so many different minerals. Nadi Durdhara Samyudam, with the river flowing down. And also, Nadi Durdhara means actually frogs. A lot of frogs are also. That means what? A lot of plantation and other living beings, aquatic creatures are there. Vividaihi vrikshamandaischa, and various kinds of trees here. Charu chitralatayutam, and filled with lot of creepers. The trees are filled with lot of creepers and green everywhere. Nana vihaga sangushtam, and various kinds of birds have taken sanctuary into this place. Mayura varanadinam matitam, and also lot of peacocks here, and their sounds, their calling, their making beautiful notes that are also seen. And what are the kind of trees here? Malati, Kunda, Kunda means jasmine, Gulpa, Kadamba, Kundakalpa means that is the bushes of jasmine, and here Sindhuvara, Shirasha, Kadamba, Arjuna, then we have Sarja, and all these are all Pushpitaihi Upashobhitam. And all of them are full blossom, because now the rainy season starting means what? Before that it is summer, and before that it was spring. So having the spring season has brought in new life to the entire place, filled with foliage, greenery, flowers, etc. And also now the rainy season is yet to come, and so everything is getting ready there. And Iyam Chanalini Ramya Pulla Pangaja Mandita. And this beautiful river also filled with lot of blossomed lotus flowers. Pulla means opened up. Pulla means blossomed. Fulla, from there only flower came, flower word. Fulla. Prafulla means well blossomed. Na atidure guhayaha, not very far away from this very cave which you are thinking of residing in. Now Bhavishyati, it will become for us Nripatmaja, oh the son of the best king. And Udaka Pravane, on the eastern side of this cave, what we see is the Prague Udaka Pravane, where the slope of the cave, Guha sadhu bhavishyati. In the slope of this, the mountain, the eastern side is the cave, which is to say, we will have the early morning sun rising. That is why even in our, the feng shui or vastu, what they say, always better to have face of the house or the door of the house facing the east, because when the sun enters at the eastern side, when it comes, it brings a lot of um, energy into the body, into the place where you're staying. Early morning sun is the best one, which is best for your health. That is what they say, Surya Namaskara, etc., are to be done facing the sun and the eastern side. But nowadays, people have the house door facing the east, but they always enter through the back door from the garage. ये क्या काल हालत है अभी? They will go round and round and round and round and round and they look for the house which is having east face direction door. Where do they enter? In fact, they never open the front door at all. Coming is also from the back door, going is also, and somebody happened to come, visitors. Then probably, sometimes they'll say that come through the garage door. Somebody. So once or twice when I go for satsang, etc. Swamiji, you have to come from the front door, but we will park the car in the dark, in the backside. But I said, okay. And once in somebody's house, I won't tell you the name. So they parked the car in the garage, then they walked me around the front door, eastern facing. Swamiji, we got specially this house, eastern facing. Okay, good. The door doesn't open. They tried and tried it. They never opened for days or months together. Open. I asked, how often you open this door? Swamiji, who comes this side? Only when you come or something. But how much money you spend and time you spend to get a house which is facing east? What is the point? Early morning, keep that front door open for the sun to get in. Whether the light directly comes or not, please keep the door open. Let the energy of the sun at the eastern side, when it is opening in the beginning of the day, please keep that open. It is very important that it has to be facing this, even if as the building faces or house faces the east, there is no use when you keep it closed. Here very clearly says, Pragudak pravane deshe guha sadhu bhavishyati paschacha unnata saumya nivate yam bhavishyati. And the wind, the air that comes at that point is also very important, because that air is filled with energy. So, and as he says that here, northeast cave, and also the west side where the air will be coming in, and west side is known for the air. And then guhadware ja saumitri shila samatala shiva. And the dwara of that door of the guha is having a beautiful large stone, which is necessary when it comes to winter or heavy dark night of the rainy season. There may be some amount of dampness. So to avoid that, we need to cover that uh, cave with a large stone and protect also from other wild animals, etc. So samatala krishna cha eva cha ayata cha eva, it's large enough, no doubt. Binnanjana chayopama. Binnanjana chayopama. Bin anchana means here to be collyrium. It's filled with a lot of that collyrium, and chaya. Chaya means collection of that upama. It is looking like the color of a dark color of the collyrium, the very cave door, so to say, the very stone that can cover it. So continuing here, Guru Shringamitam Tada.
गिरिशृङ्गमिदं तात.
Can you reduce your volume? Swapna, it's very, I'm not able to reduce it here. Pashya Chottarata Shubham.
पश्यच्चोत्तरतः शुभम्
Binnanjana Chayakaram.
भिन्नाञ्जनचयाकारम्
Ambodaramiboditam.
अम्भोधरमिवोदितम्
Dakshinasyaamapi dishi.
दक्षिणस्यामपि दिशि
Tidam Shvedamivambaram.
स्थितं श्वेतमिवाम्बरम्
Shve Kailasa Shikara Prakyam.
कैलासशिखरप्रख्यम्
Kailasa Shikara Prakyam. Okay. Nanadhatu Virajitam.
नानाधातुविराजितम्
Prachinavahinim Chaiva.
प्राचीनवाहिनीं चैव
Nadim Brishamakardamam.
नदीं वृषमकर्दमाम्
Maya Paratapashya.
गुहायाः परतः पश्य
Kote Jahnavimiva.
त्रिकूटे जाह्नवीमिव
Kandanai Salaihi.
चिन्दनैस्तिलकैः
Chandanai. Tamalairadimuktyakai.
तमालैरतिमुक्तकैः
Padmakai Saralaischaiva.
पद्मकैः सरलैश्चैव
Shokaischaiva Bushobitam.
अशोकैश्चैव शोभिताम्
Vaniraistimiraischaiva.
वानिरैस्तिमिदैश्चैव
Bagulai Ketakairapi.
बकुलैः केतकैरपि
Hindalaistanishinais. Hindalaistanishais. Dashinai Nipai.
हिन्तालैस्तिनिशैर्नीपैः
Hindalaistinishay Nipaihi.
हिन्तालैस्तिनिशैर्नीपैः
Parvadas Parvaihi Pavetasai Kritamalakaihi.
पर्वेतसैः कृतमालकैः
There's so many different kinds of trees of those times. Girishringamidam he tata, oh dear, Pashya, the beautiful mountain. Again, you see, Uttamas Shubham, Uttarataha, of the northern side, Uttarataha, of the northern side. He explained about the eastern side where the sun is getting in towards the entrance, and the western side where the wind is blowing properly. Northern side is filled with so much of uh, various kinds of trees, as he says, uh, Binnanjana Chayakaram, of the beautiful, again, the colorium, that huge mountain filled with such kind of minerals there. And it is looking like as though Ambaudara Iva Uditam. Ambaudara means a cloud. Ambas, water. Ambaudara, one which has water, filled with water. That is cloud. Amba Udaramiva Uditam. Rising up with that kind of a huge white cloud of water. On the southern side, Dakshinasyaamapi Dishi Sthitam Shvedamivambaram. And it is on the southern side. We can also see the cloud like existence there. Huge is this mountain. Kailasa Giri Shigara Prakyam. Kailasa Shigara Prakyam. It looks like as though Kailas, see, those who have been to Kailas, they know when the cloud is removed, or when there is no cloud, the very beautiful Kailasha, even though snow falls in all other mountains around it, but the other mountains do not have that beauty of like that of Kailasha, because it has that shape which takes the shape takes like a Shivalinga filled with so much of like Vibhuti. See, why we offer the Vibhuti to the Shivalinga? It is to relate it to that Kailash Shikara, which itself is considered as Bhagavan Shiva, and filled with the snow, white, pure white snow. And from a distance also, if you look at it, all other mountains which are looking relatively black and dark, but one single Kailasha exclusively seen with a completely covered with snow. Mm. And especially when the sunlight directly falls on it, it turns to become absolute pure gold. It is such an interesting, very beautiful to see. So here is a Kailasa Shigara Prakyam, Nana Dhatu Virajitam, filled with so many different kinds of minerals. And the eastern side again, Prachina Vahinim Chaiva, Nadim Brisham Akardamam, and the river that is flowing down from the eastern side and towards the eastern side is that which is Akardamam, which no mud at all. It is not muddy, it is clear water. And Guhaya Paratapasya, and in the side of that very cave, you see this Trikute Jahvamiva and Jahnavimiva. And that is like in the Trikuta, how the here Trikuta should be understood as um, where the Mandakini river, which is also Jahnavi, Janhavi is none other than another name for Ganga, and so that river is flowing in the same way. I could see here the flow of water and various kinds of beautiful trees. Chandana, that is sandalwood, you can see there, and Tilaka, Sala, Tamala, Atimukta, Padmaka, Sarala, Ashoka, all those things are seen here. Chandane stilake salaihi tamale adimuktakaihi padmake saralascheva ashokascheva shobhitam. And also we have various kinds of trees which are very wild trees which are known as Vanira, Timida, Bakula, Ketaka, Hintala, Tinisha, Nipa, and Vedasa. वानिरैस्तिमितैश्चैव बकुलैकेतकैरपि हिन्दालैस्तनिनशैस्नीपैः वै वेतसैकृतमालकैः. All these are all various kinds of wild trees bringing more beauty to the entire place. So why this kind of description Valmiki ji is giving? Now tell me, how many of us even now have such kind of forests to maintain the varieties of trees which have varieties of bringing so much of wealth of health into this universe? This earth is there in the among all the planets around us. There are known planets, maybe 8 or 9. Unknown different planets are there. In all these entire set of gamut of planets that are around in this cosmos, so far we have found life is only in this earth. And why it is so? Because of the water and the plantation. And these leaves and the flowers and the plants that are filled with life, not only they live, but they give life, give that oxygen necessary for not only human beings, all living beings. And mindlessly, when we keep on destroying them, we are destroying life on this earth. No more next generation will have air to breathe. I'm so so disturbed when our neighbor around here, 20 trees he cut on overnight. 20 trees, tat, 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 cut. I just, my heart bled. How mindless that such a person can be. Every tree, to bring them up, it takes 20, 30 years. It's easy to cut, which it takes only 10 minutes to cut. To grow a tree to that size takes 25, 30 years. They give their life to us. Mindlessly, because you want no leaves to come down, therefore I cut. Why not you spend some time to remove the leaf? Let it gives a life. You are worried about leaves? So these kind of trees, I do not know where we would see them. So many different varieties has been enumerated here to show that how much it was protected at those times. We have become such inhuman humans. We are only worried about our comforts, and we have brought end to this life here. Presently, what we see, flood on one side and fire on the other side of the same country, is not because of any reason other than human arrogance. And this beauty of so many trees around and the banks of the river is filled with that. Tirtajai Shobita Bhati
धीरजैः शोभिता भाति
Nana Rupaistatastataha
नानारूपैततस्ततः
Vasana Baranopeta
वसनाभरणोपेता
Pramadevabhyalankrita
प्रमदेवाभ्यलङ्कृता
Tadasha Pakshi Sangaischa
शतशः पक्षिसङ्घैश्च
Nana Nada Vinadita
नानानादविनादिता
Ekaikam Anuraktaischa
एकैकम् अनुरक्तैश्च
Chakravakairalankrita
चक्रवाकैरलङ्कृता
Pulinair Atiramyaischa
पुलिनैरतिरम्यैश्च
Hamsasarasa Sevita
हंससारससेविता
Prahasantyeva Bhatyesha
प्रहसन्त्येव भात्येषा
Nanaratna Samanvita
नानारत्नसमन्विता
Kvachit Kvachit Srilotpalai Kvachinilotpalaischanna
क्वचिन्नीलोत्पलैश्चन्न
Adiraktoत्palai Kvachit
भाति रक्तोत्पलै क्वचित्
Kvachitamati Shuklaischa
क्वचिता भाति शुक्लैश्च
Shuklaischa sorry Kvachita Bhati Shuklaischa Divyai Kumudakundalaihi
दिव्यैः कुमुदकुण्डलैः
like Kungmalai, not Kundmalai, Kunmalai, Kudmalai. Kun
कुम्मलैः
Kumada Divye Kumada Kudmalaihi
दिव्यैः कुमुदकुण्डलैः
Pariplavasatai Shushta
पारिप्लवशतैर्जुष्टा
Barhi Koncha Vinadita
बर्हि कौञ्च विनादिता
Ramaniya Nadi Saumya
रमणीया नदी सौम्या
Munisanga Nishevita.
मुनिसङ्घनिषेविता
Tirtajaihi, all these trees are all born out of the banks of the river. Tirtajaihi, vrukshaihi, shobita bhati, nana rupaihi, tatastataha. Various kinds of them here and there we find there. And it is looking like the river with all these various kinds of trees and flowers and varieties of the leaves, varieties of the foliage that was there. It looked like Vasanaparana Ubeta Pramada Iva Alankrita Abhyalankrita. What a beautiful comparison. Like a young girl or young lady wearing different kinds of ornaments, different kinds of clothes, how beautifully she would look in the same way. Pramada iva abhyalankrita. When she is beautified with so many different apparels, in the same way, Vasana Bharana Upeta, Pramada iva. Shadashaha Pakshita Sangesh, and now coming to various kinds of birds there. Nana Nada Vinadita, various kinds of sounds they were making, notes they were making, and why they make so many different kinds of notes. Ekekam Anuraktaischa, calling out passionately for its own partners, calling at each other. Chakravakaihi Alankrita, various birds, including the Chakravaka and Pulina. There are various kinds of birds here, says. Um, and here in the sandy banks of the river, Pulinaischa, Adiramyaischa, which is most beautiful, Hamsa Sarasa Sevita. The swans and cranes were also there. Prahasantyeva bhati esha. It is all, it's looking like when the birds are making lot of chirping, lot of notes there, it look like the entire mountain or the river are all laughing. Prahasantyeva bhati esha. Nana ratna samanvita. And shining with so many different precious jewels also, precious stones also. And Kaschit Neelotpalai say Channa. And some places which was filled with so much of blue lotus, bhati, raktopalais kvachit, and some places it is all filled with, the river is filled with rakta utpalai, red color, various flowers. Kaschit abadi shuklaischa, some places it is all white. So white, red, blue, various colors, divyaihi, kumudakundalai, kudmalaihi, various kinds of birds that are coming out of those very flowers there. And Pariplavada Shataischa, and the ducks which are also in the river found are moving about there. Pariplava means ducks that were also that were, then Barhi Kauncha Vinadita, and also we see Barhi, that is peacock, Krauncha birds, they were also making beautiful notes. Ramaniya Nadi Soumya, this way the river is filled with such a beauty. Muni Sangha Nishevida, and all top of it also, the very meditating tapasvis who are living in that place, they don't want to leave that beauty of that very serene area, and they come there into that very river, and then they also live and move around, and it is filled with them also, because for their livelihood, for there is a lot of fruits and roots and other things, and they also live in Parnakutira there, and they also maintain their serenity of the place doing their tapas. So that is also Punyasthala, not just a beauty of the nature. Pashya Chandana Vrikshanam
पश्यचन्दनवृक्षाणाम्
Pankti Suruchira Iva
पङ्क्तिसुरुचिरारिव
Bhagavanam Chadrishyante
ककुभानां च दृश्यन्ते
Manasaivodita Samam
मनसैवोदिता समम्
Aho Suramaniyayam
अहो सुरमणीयोऽयं
Desha
देशशत्रुनिषूदन
Dridam Ramsyava Saumitre
दृढं रंस्याव सौमित्रे
Sadvatra Nivasavahe
ताद्वत्र निवसावहे
Idasyanati Duresa
इतश्च नातिदूरे च
Kishkindha Chitrakanana
किष्किन्धा चित्रकानना
Sugrivasya Pariramya
सुग्रीवस्य पुरी रम्या
Avishyadi Nripatmaja
भविष्यति नृपात्मज
Gitavaditra Nirgoshaha
ईतवादित्र निर्घोषः
Shruyate Jayatambara
श्रूयते जयतां वर
Katatam Vanaranam Cha
नदतां वानराणां च
मृदङ्गाडम्बरैः सह
मृदङ्गाडम्बरैः सह
लब्ध्वा भार्या कपिवरः
लब्ध्वा भार्यां कपिवरः
प्राप्य राज्यं सुहृद्वृतः
प्राप्य राज्यं सुहृद्वृतः
ध्रुवं नन्दति सुग्रीवः
ध्रुवं नन्दति सुग्रीवः
सम्प्राप्य महतीं श्रियम्
सम्प्राप्य महतीं श्रियम्
इत्युक्त्वा न्यवसत्तत्र
इत्युक्त्वा न्यवसत् तत्र
राघवः सह लक्ष्मणः
राघवः सह लक्ष्मणः
बहुदृश्य बहुदृश्यधरी कुञ्जे
बहुदृश्यधरी कुञ्जे
तस्मिन् प्रस्रवणे गिरौ
तस्मिन् प्रस्रवणे गिरौ
Chandana Pankti Pashya. Pankti means a row of all these sandalwood trees you see, Sumitra, I mean, Lakshmana, Pankti, Suruchira Iva, so beautifully laid out as though somebody had planted them. Kagubanam, in that very region, Sadrishyante Manasa Eva Udita Samam, as though I have imagined in my mind. When you plan in your mind and then plant the trees, it is in a particular row or a particular line you make it. It is interesting nowadays when you see the roads and all where they plant the trees have no leaves at all. Only stick and few branches like this, and 2-3 leaves. You wonder why they even have the trees. For what? Just for the stem? For the sticky? When the leaves are, of course leaves will be there, then they will be falling. They're worried about, who will clean the leaves? Without the leaves and the foliage and the thickness, what is the point in having a tree with just a stick, like a skeleton? So here the sandalwood trees are seen laid out as though it has been planned like that. Manasa eva udita. But actually nature has its own various ways. Mysterious is the nature of the nature. It knows exactly which plant will grow in which place and which used for what purpose. Such beauty is created by nature, as though, if you go to a forest, we may say the wild growth. Actually, it's an intelligent laying down of that nature. Beautifully laid down. Aho, Suramani Oyam. Oh, indeed, so beautiful is this place. Desha. Shatru Nishodana. Oh, the killer of the enemies. Dridam Samsyava Saumitre. Definitely. Oh, Sumitra Putra, we will definitely live here only. Sadhu atra nivasavahe. Sadhu, it is so appropriate to live here only. And not only that, not very far away from here is the Kishkindha city. Now, ati dure Kishkindha va Chitrakanana, which is filled with all these various kinds of forests. Sugrivasya Puri Ramya, the beautiful city of Sugriva, Bhavishyati Nripatmaja. It will be there, very close to us. It is not, we are too far away from the main city itself. And it's called outskirts, outskirts of the city. Nowadays also people live in the outskirts and for the school district, and we do not want to be too far away from the main city. At the same time, we don't want to get into the pollutions and traffic of the main city also. So in the same way here, I am away, at the same time not too far away from Kishkindha. And I even hear how far it is. I could even hear what is going on in the palace. See, he says, Gita Vada Vaditra Nivisho Nirgoshaha Shruyate. I can hear that great celebration of sound. I mean, the sound is going on for the coronation of Sugriva. I could hear it. Jayatam Vara, the best among the victorious one. Natatam Vanaranam cha Mridanga Adambarai Saha. And the dance and other things that are going on by the monkeys in the palace, I could even hear that. And that obviously Sugriva deserves it. So long he was been stayed away from the main city or Rajya, which he really deserves. Labdva Bharya Kapivaraha, the Sugriva having gained his wife back, Prapya Rajyam Suhrudvartaha, and also got his very prosperous kingdom with his own people and friends. And Dhruvam Nandati Sugriva, definitely he will be enjoying. There is no doubt about that. Samprapya Mahatim Shriyam also got so much of great wealth belonging to the Kishkindha Nagar. Ityuktva Nyavasat Tatra Ragavaha. Thus he decided to stay there. And Saha Lakshmanaha along with Lakshmana. And Brihudrishya Darokrutam. And also in that very what is perceived to be most beautiful, Brihadrishya. And what is the name of that place? It's called Prasravana Giri. The name of that Giri or the hill is known as Prasravana, and which has filled with Daro Kunje Tasmin, and where we can say is Dari Kunja means lot of clusters of various caves that is also seen, worth seeing. Such kind of a place is where Raghava Rama decided to stay along with Sri Lakshmana. Susuke hi bahudravye
सुसुखे हि बहुद्रव्ये
अस्मिन् hi dharani dare
तस्मिन् हि धरणीधरे
vasatastasya ramasya
वसतस्तस्य रामस्य
ratiralpapi nabhavat
रतिरल्पापि नाभवत्
कृतां hi bharyam smaratah
कृतां हि भार्यां स्मरतः
प्राणेभ्योऽपि गरीयसीम्
प्राणेभ्योऽपि गरीयसीम्
उदयाभ्युदितं दृष्ट्वा
उदयाभ्युदितं दृष्ट्वा
शशाङ्कं स विशेषतः
शशाङ्कं च विशेषतः
आविवेशनतं निद्रा
आविवेशनतं निद्रा
निशासु शयनं गतं
निशासु शयनं गतम्
तत्समुत्तेन शोकेन
तत्समुत्तेन शोकेन
बाष्पोपहतचेतनम्.
बाष्पोपहतचेतनम्.
Even though the place is beautiful, comfortable, most pleasant, Suzukehi Bahudravye, filled with so much of richness of the nature, Tasmin ki Dharani Dare, in that very place of earth, Vasataha, while living, Tasya Ramasya, of that Rama, Ratihi Alpabi na Abhavat. Delight in his heart is not there. See, that's what Gurudev used to say. In India, when you live with all the various problems, power cut, lack of water, the pollution, this and that, you uncomfortably, unhappily live. And in other part of the world where you have all the luxuries and comfort, you comfortably unhappy. One place is uncomfortably unhappy, there is uncomfortably unhappy. In the most luxurious place also you can, why? The mind is not happy. That is the problem with all of us, right? If the mind is not happy, wherever you go, whichever luxurious place you go, whichever vacation you take, if your mind is agitated, restless, jealous, anger, lust, calm, passion, greed, all these are, where do you find happiness then? Whatever be the external facilities that you may have, comforts that you may have, if the mind is not, why he is so disturbed? Hritam bharyam smarataha, remembering his wife who was taken away. Pranobhyobi gariyasim bharyam, the one who is most dear to him than even his own life. And when does actually he gets disturbed more and more? Udaya abhyutitam drishtva shashankam. Whenever the moonrise takes place, looking at that very moonrise, he remembers the beautiful face of Sita and he is not able. Visheshatah shashankam Udayabhyatitam drishtva. Whenever there is this beautiful moon rising up, that he remembers that very face of, even though he was lying there, hmm, and avivesha cha tam nidra, na avivesha cha tam nidra, then sleep never come to him. Even though nishasu during the nights, shayanam gatam, even though he's lying down in the bed, probably, which is whatever be the bed created by Lakshmana, lying there, but he's not able to have one wink of sleep. And why? Tas samuttena shokena, with so much of sorrow coming up again and again, overwhelming him. Bashpa upahata chetanam, with his whole mind filled with the grief, tears in his eyes, and not able to close the eyes. The moment he closed the eyes, he remembers Sita. Open the eyes, he finds she's not there. And so that way, even though the beauty of that whole place is given for us to understand, but also the grief that Rama had for the loss of his wife. Tam shochamanam bahulyam.
Tam
Sorry.
shochama
Tam shochamanam kakutstam.
Tam shochamanam kakutsam
Nityam shokaparayanam.
Nityam shokaparayanam
Tulya dukko bravid brata.
Tulya dukho brabid brata
Lakshmano nunayam vachah.
Lakshmano nunayam vachaha
Alam veeravyatam gatva.
Alam veeravyatham gatva
Natvam shochitumarhasi.
Natvam shochitumarhasi
Shochato hyavasidanti.
Shochato hyavasidanti
Sarvartha viditam hite.
Sarvartha viditam hite
Bhavan kriya paro loke.
Bhavan kriyaparo loke
Bhavan deva parayanah.
Bhavan deva parayanah
Astiko dharmashilascha.
Astiko dharmashilascha
Vyavasayi cha raghava.
Vyavasayi cha raghava
Nahyavya vasadit. Nahyavya shatrum.
Nahyavya vasitah shatrum
Rakshasam tam visheshatah.
Rakshasam tam visheshatah
Samarthastvam rane hantum.
Samarthastvam rane hantum
Vikrame jihmakarinam.
Vikrame jihmakarinam
Samunmulaya shokam tvam.
Samunmulaya shokam tvam
Vyavasayam sthiti kuru.
Vyavasayam stiri kuru
Stiri kuru, correct. Tadassa parivaram tam.
Tatassa parivarantam
Rakshasam hantumarhasi.
Rakshasam hantumarhasi
Prithivim kakutstha.
Prithivīmapi kākutsa
Tasagaravanāchalam.
Tasāgaravanachalam
Parivartayitum shaktah.
Parivartayitum shaktah
Kim punastvam hi Ravanam.
Kim punastam hi Ravanam
Sharatkalam pratikshasva.
Sharatkalam pratikshasva
Pravritkalo yamagatah.
Pravrutkalo yamagatah
Tatassa rashtra saganam.
Tatassa rashtam
Saganam, sorry. Ravanam tam vadishyasi.
Ravanam tam vadhishyasi
Aham tu kalute
Ah,
virya. Okay. Aham tu kalute viryam.
Aham tu khalu te viryam
Prasuptam pradibodhaye.
Prasuptam pratibodhaye
Deepte rahuti bikale.
दीप्तैराहुतिभिः काले
Basmachannamivanalam.
भस्मच्छन्नमिवानलम्
See, whenever that's Rama is filled with grief and sorrow, Even for any one of us, when we have such kind of a grief or mind disturbed, it is so a blessing to have someone to tell us to come out of it. At that point, we ourselves do not note that we are in such a situation. And if somebody brings attention to us, we will slowly recover. The same way here, Lakshmana, who's such a appropriate companion for Rama, whenever he felt some kind of a sorrow or kind of loss of interest in what he's doing, it is always Lakshmana who was helping him to come out. Therefore, here also, Stam Shochamanam Kagustam Nityam Shokaparayanam, continuously he was grieving. Tulya Dukkopabravit Brata. He was also, it is not the Lakshmana was not feeling for it. He also felt that it needs to be something which is really sorrowful. But at the same time, Lakshmana Anunayam Vachaha, he reached him or closer to him, Anunayam Vachaha Abravit, he spoke. What did he say? Alam Vida, enough is this Rama, enough. Vyatam Gatva Natvam Shochitum Arhasi. This way you cannot go on grieving, O Rama. It is not fit for you because you know very well. Grief is that which removes all the attention to the higher purpose. Shochataha hi avasitanti sarva arthaha. Grief, no doubt you must feel bad or feel unhappy for, but if you keep on remembering and grieving and crying and lamenting, you will lose the purpose of existence. Viditam hite, you know it. Rama, I'm just reminding you. Bhavan kriyaparaha, you are a man of action. Loke Bhavan Devaparayana. In the world, you are a man of action and you are the one who has great respect for all the devas. Reminding him, for what purpose you are here? Why is that all this is happening? Remember, the purpose for you, for purpose of your going through this is to help out the gods. Devaparayana. Astiko Dharmashilascha, you are a person of piety or nobility, and Dharmashilaha knows what is the righteous thing to do. Vyavasayi, industrious you are, enterprising. Hey, Raghava, you are a person of such great virtue. Nahi avasitaha shatrum rakshasam tam visheshada samartahatvam. Havyavasitaha, by inactive, by vyavasayas, vi avasa. So vyavasaya means to industriousness or the enterprising nature. How he avyavasitaha means not having that kind of a proactive approach. Shatrum rakshasam ta visheshadaha tvam rane nahantum samartaha. If you are continuing to grieve like this, you will become incapable of destroying your enemy. Shatrum rakshasam tam visheshataha rane hantum. What kind of a jihmakarinam shatrum? The one who is a great evil. Jihma means sinful. Jihmakarinam, that sinful deed. Ravana, the one who is filled with evil, such a enemy you will become incapable of fighting with him if you keep grieving like this. Samunmuleya shokam. Therefore, root out this very sorrow. Tvam vyavasayam stiri kuru, and steady yourself with your mind, filled with proactive plans. And in this very world, Ekakusta Prithivim you are capable of Parivartayidum Shaktaha. You are capable of turning upside down. What? Prithivi Sasagara Vana Achalam. This world, earth, water, forest, everything, the mountains, you are capable of even turning upside down. Parivartayidum Shaktaha. Kimpunastam Ravanam. What is the Ravana? Can't you? It's a question of your will. It's a question of your determination. You are capable of much, much greater things. Only thing is now, at this point, we cannot do anything because uh, rain is coming, heavy rains. So we have to wait. Sharad kalam pradikshasva. Wait for the autumn because pravrid kalo ayam agataha. Now the rainy season has begun, and tataha sarashtram saganam ravanam tam vadishyati. Vadishyati. Vadishyasi. You will definitely destroy Ravana, not only him, Ravanam Saganam, along with all his associates, Sarashtram, the entire country itself you will destroy. Now, all this I am telling you, it's not that you don't know. It is like the fire is there, when you do the yajna, yaga, the karma, fire is there. Sometime the what do you call that? The ashes will try to cover the fire, and then we just keep blowing or adding more ahutis. When we add more ingredients to it, it will start burning again. In the same way, aham tu kalute viryam prasuptam pradibodhaye. You are hidden, sleeping giant in you, sleeping power in you. I am trying to wake him up. That's all it is. Aham tu kalute viryam prasuptam pradibodhaye. To wake up your virya, I am only doing that. Deeptaihi ahudubihi kale basmachanna mivalalam. Basmachanna, covered with ashes, analam, the fire. Deeptehi ahudubihi kale, at the due time when to kindle that is necessary. Otherwise, that dust, the ashes will slowly cover the fire and destroy, and finally the fire won't be there. I don't want that to happen. I'm in the same way. I'm giving you some thoughts and some kind of not advice. Don't take it as an advice. Just indicators so that you will not lose your focus, and you are capable of destroying Ravana. I'm just reminding you about that. That way, Lakshmana had given proper advice at the proper time, and Ram also realizes that. I'm so glad that I have you, Lakshmana, next to me, that you are constantly reminding me my higher purpose. That is the role of a friend or a brother or anybody who is close associate, constantly reminding us about our higher purpose in life. And that's very important. Why satsanga? It is to remind us again and again why we are here. What is the purpose of life? Same way, Lakshmana was indicating to Rama. अगणित गुणगण भूषण राम आश्रित वत्सल जय जय राम अयोध्यवासी सीताराम आपद बांधव जय जय राम दशरथ नंदन श्रीराम दशमुख मर्दन जय जय राम कौसल्या सुखवर्धन राम कामित फलता जय जय राम पाप विमोचन श्रीराम पट्टाभिराम जय जय राम जानकी जीवन सीताराम जय रघुराम जय सिया राम वानर सेवित श्रीराम वारिधि वंदन जय जय राम हनुमत पूजित सीताराम जय जय राम जय रघुराम रघुपति राघव राजा राम पतित पावन सीताराम श्रीराम जय जय राम श्रीराम जय जय राम सियावर रामचंद्र की जय पवन सुत हनुमान की जय उमापति महादेव की जय बोलो भाई सब संतन की जय।